Hi, friends. Today we are going to look over some conscious ways of falling out of a handstand. When we're first learning handstands, the tendency is to always push ourselves to getting upside down and to finding that hang time. Well, that's awesome and great, but a lot of us also experience that debilitating fear of falling over and possibly injuring ourselves. And that goes for a lot of inversions as well, not just solely handstands. What I found to be very, very helpful in learning handstands, and believe me, I've fallen thousands of times. But the only way you get better at handstands is to fall 1,000 times, but to get right back up more than you fall. That is the only way you're going to find any kind of progression in finding hang time upside down. But again, that fear is still so debilitating and paralyzing at times. And oftentimes we practice with the wall behind us. And one thing I want you to realize about the wall is that the wall is great for holding for time and not great for learning balance. And part of the reasons why you want to practice away from the wall is because that's the only way your body is going to have that total body awareness to build strength from the toes all the way up through the shoulders and the wrist flexors. And falling out of handstands requires just an extra moment of presence. And what's really important about falling out of the handstands is to focus on slowing down with control. Now, I know that might seem a little hard at first, but it's so important because focusing on lowering down with control, or falling out with control rather, is going to help you in kicking up into those handstands. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of ways to fall out of the handstands consciously. So when you kick up into a handstand, typically we will fall in the direction of our weakest side of our body. So that will be the right. For some people, that will be the left. For me, it's the left side. What I like to do when I fall out of handstands is I shift my gaze over to the opposite direction of where I'm falling. So for example, if I fall out of the handstand here and I'm falling to the left, I look over to the right and I cartwheel out of it with control. Focus on slowing down with control, because if you flop out of the handstands, that's not going to teach your body how to build strength and control in the position. Another great way to fall out of the handstands as well is to move one of your hands in front of you just to break the fall. So I'll give you an example now. So if I come into, let's say, a tuck handstand shape, and I'm falling over to the left, then I put my left hand up and I cartwheel out of it. Now it takes a bit of time and presence to practice falling consciously. Again, you want to avoid flopping out of it or kicking up too high so that you fall into a back bend. I have a class in the description box below as to how you can enter a handstand, no matter what your experience level is. But again, a lot of times we fall because we're rushing too much into the straight line handstand. What's really important before rushing into the straight line handstand is to focus and master the tuck handstand and to master the L-shaped handstand before even attempting to bring your legs together. That is often the times where I fell out the most, was rushing and wanting to get to the straight line handstand when I wasn't prepared because I didn't understand the balance and coordination it takes to hold a handstand in the middle of the room. But if, however, you are practicing your straight line handstands, you're generally going to fall to the weakest side of your body, but just cartwheel out of it. Look to the direction opposite from where your body has lost the balance, and that way you control your lowers and you reduce the amount of risk or chances of you hurting yourself in the handstand. Kick up with control, so that your legs don't go over your hips into a back bend. And what's really great about coming into a handstand in this crouched position is that your center of gravity is low, and you can really practice on kicking up into your handstands. But again, if you fall out of it, just look to the opposite direction, and your body is going to fall with control. I highly recommend mastering how to consciously fall out of the handstands before rushing and not using the wall behind you for balance. You're not going to learn balance or coordination with using the wall behind you. You have to be able to fall with control in order to progress with your handstand journey. And I'll just show you how to get out of it by moving one hand in front of it, just to control your falls. So from the tuck handstand shape, I'm falling over to the left. I use my left hand to help me cartwheel out of it. Keep thinking cartwheels and keep having fun with your handstands. Practice away from the wall. The wall is great for building strength and for building the whole time. With your nose and chest against the wall, I wouldn't suggest using the wall to learn how to balance. So always practice in the middle of the room, and falling this way is going to help you get rid of the fear of falling too much, because once you learn how to fall with control, everything will fall into place, and it only takes patience, time, repetition, and conscious practice. Let me know if this has helped you in the comment box below. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to support the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today in this walkthrough. I hope that it has helped you. If you're looking for a couple of handstand entries, please click on the description box below. The link to my handstand entries class will be there for you. Thank you.